On today's episode, I really just want to talk about one of the first commercial deals that I ever did. I had a client that had been with me for a little bit of time. I had helped them sell their first home. I'd helped them buy their second home, which they're still in today. And he had reached out to me. He was like, "Man, I want to buy a commercial building for my business." And we had done many a search. We were all over the map trying to figure this thing out. And this was my first commercial real estate transaction back in probably 7 or 8, no, probably almost 9 years ago, and 8 years ago or so. This was probably about 8 years ago. And he had reached out to me. We had, I'm still trying to figure everything out. I had done up to this point, I had done a little bit of residential property. And so I had a pretty good grasp of like how a transaction went. We ended up finding a property and it was in the square of a city. And so we had to go through a little bit more red tape trying to figure a few things out. And this property that he wanted to purchase also had like 3 buildings in the back that are 3 shops in the back of this main building that were run through 3 other businesses. So the purchase of this building, he was also going to be making money off of these units. And so he was buying the main unit to move into his company, move his company into it. And long story short, we're working out the deal. The man who had owned it had passed, and it had passed to his wife. And so we were working the deal out. We ended up negotiating a very strong deal. And then after the inspection process, after crossing some red tape, we ended up actually having to come back to him and say, "Hey, look, we need the roof done. There's a lot of issues with this property, but we're willing to go through this process because we're going to renovate it. We're going to, go through this thing." Long story short, we end up renegotiating the deal, trying to get everything to fit. We ended up negotiating that he was going to get about $40,000 or $50,000 in concessions to make some of these improvements, and plus some renovation that needed to be done, as well as he was getting some of the rent, the security deposits from these other properties. And so ultimately it ended up coming down to it. And at the end of the day, the closing table, he ended up purchasing this building and ended up making like $40,000, $50,000 to go towards his repairs. It was absolutely probably the I would say luckier things in my career that ended up working out absolutely perfect. And it was my first time doing it. So it was a good experience. It was a massive learning experience because there was a lot of ups and downs during the process, and it did take a little bit longer to do it. But again, it was one of those luckier moments. And I told him, I was like, "Dude, I have no idea how this ended up working out." And a lot of it was just the education that I did behind negotiation, just hoping that I would learn something and I would apply it. I would learn it and apply it. And I was like, let's just see if this works. And I would apply it. So there's a little bit more of the story of understanding that, if you are in a career path and you're wanting to, or you're starting out in a career path, learn how to negotiate, learn sales, because that's something that is always going to be a benefit to you in whatever career path that you do. I don't care whether you're, working a 9 to 5. I don't know. It doesn't matter what you do, because whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling a service, whether you're selling yourself, because ultimately in a 9 to 5, you have to be able to represent yourself in making that salary position, how much money you're going to make. If you have the ability to make sales, then you are an asset to that company. And so these are the things that I would press really strongly against, or make you see in this, not just, real estate side of this video, but if I can press anything upon you, is learn sales, learn negotiation, try and test things out, because do Facebook Marketplace. You could always negotiate there. You could test your negotiation skills there. It's always a part of life. And if you're able to master these skills and grow these skills and continuously learn these skills, you are going to be a lot further down the road, and you're going to be able to make yourself a strong asset in whatever you're doing, whether that's working for yourself or working for someone. And so that's it. I just wanted to talk about that and just say some of the things that I learned in that process, but also be able to tell you, like, this was a lucky moment and this was a really cool thing that I got to experience doing my first commercial real estate transaction. So if you guys have any questions or if you want to learn more about it, let me know. We have a weekly newsletter that we send out every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and usually it's got like a tip of the day in there, or it's got a home tour, or it's something that's happened in the real estate market and something that is applicable to you as a consumer or as an investor. And so if you're interested in that, reach out to us. We'd love to answer any questions that you have. You can always check out all of our social medias. Our TikTok is full of really good information. Our Instagram is full of great information. Anything that's posted, any part of our social media platforms is posted everywhere. So you can always find that information on whatever platform you use. If you want more about the deals that we've done, we can always break those down. We'd love to have that conversation, or at least be able to share the stories that we do. Thanks for listening.